Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people where we speak about critical issues in the blindness community and all other issues from across the universe and galaxy. Today, let's go over to Pakistan and speak with Alishba. As I understand it, you're blind, you're in university, you're studying broadcasting and communication, and I also understand that you've been a longtime listener of Aaron's Opinion and you've always wanted to participate and come to the show. So if you don't mind me asking, within the next hour or hour and a half or so, you can talk about who you are as a person and answer my question, who is Alishpa? So go right ahead, talk about yourself for a bit.
Hello, Aaron, and hello, everyone. I'm Alishpa. I am a student of Bachelor's in Behavioral Sciences from Fatma Jinnah Women University, as well as I have worked as a radio jockey on the Subha Web Radio for 2 years. And currently, I'm not working as a radio jockey, but I am trying to start my business. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I make handmade jewelry and I supply on handmade jewelry worldwide. So yeah, just starting up with that. Other than that, yeah, I have gone through different trainings, like in counseling and psychotherapy, and yeah, and I want to start my business as well as I want to pursue my career in psychology. So that's who I am. And thank you so much, Aaron, for inviting me to this episode of Aaron's Opinion. I hope so. I will have a good time in the next hour. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Absolutely. Okay. So it sounds to me like you're very, very interested in behavioral science. And thank you for correcting me and thank you for that. So Alishba, what can you tell me about your interest in behavioral science? Why does that interest you so much? And how did you first become so interested in behavioral science? And by the way, I was born blind with glaucoma. So what is the nature of your blindness, by the way? Were you also born blind?
Okay. First, let's talk about behavioral science. So if we say behavioral sciences, so in this field of study or in this program of study, we mainly focus on learning what are the reasons of human behavior and what shapes human behavior. So basically, we study behavior, like which behavior is shaped by culture, which behavior is shaped by society, which behavior is shaped by the human psyche and some of the mental illnesses, some of the mental well-being. So basically, this is what we study in behavioral sciences. In this, we also study a little bit anthropology. We also study sociology. We also study psychology and many other subjects. So it is like a very vast subject. And I was interested in learning about different human behavior. So I chose this field and talking about my blindness. So no, I am not by birth blind. I went blind when I was 8 years old because of glaucoma. You know, when we suffer from glaucoma, so the pressure in our eye, it rises. So my doctor said that the pressure in the eye is like very much and we have to operate it. So I got operated, but I was not given a vaccination after my surgery. So the ward in which I was admitted, there was another patient who had eye infection. So I also developed eye infection, and within one night I went blind. So that's how I went blind.
That is very, very interesting. So you went into hospital when you were 8 years old to treat glaucoma at the time, and it sounds like you ended up with an infection which blinded you. That's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, this is a major problem, and this happens in a lot of countries all over the world. That it's not just in Pakistan, but in many, many, many countries, people would go to a doctor, and unfortunately, something would go wrong along the way. So that is a very, very severe matter. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And what can you tell? So, okay. So then you became blind at the age of 8 and needed to start dealing with glaucoma. So what can you tell us about that? I mean, having glaucoma in Pakistan, did you start going to an eye doctor, an ophthalmologist once a year? Do you take your eye drops now? How are you able to, how do they manage these things in Pakistan?
Well, after I went blind, I went to the doctor, like for the routine checkup every month. I had to went to doctor because my glaucoma was very severe. And actually I developed glaucoma after my birth, but I was not blind.
Right.
So the doctors, they were treating me like they gave me certain eye drops, and they were like asking me like to take these medications. There were certain medications that I was taking, but it was not control. They were unable to, it was not like getting cured. So the doctors said that we have to do the surgery. And after that, it is keep on getting worse these days. In fact, I had 12 surgeries up till now, and still, I take my eye drops, and finally, the doctors are saying that there's no cure to glaucoma, and the blindness, it is irreversible now. Uh, we can't reverse the eyesight. So, the doctors are saying that because I suffer from severe eye pain, and like my eyes, they like, I remain tearful. So, um, the doctors are saying that we have to remove the eyeball so that, she may not suffer the pain that she is suffering from, because the pain is very severe. I can't move my face when I start facing eye pain. But I am like saying that if I will remove my eyeball, I will lose my light perception, which helps me to move around, because light perception can also help us move around here and there. So I am saying that I cannot remove my eyeball. So that's what's around me these days. But still, I'm satisfied with my life because, yeah, many other things are good. So I'm satisfied. I don't have any problem dealing with all that.
You're very wise, and that's a very good answer. Is that these things happen, and you are correct. There is no, technically speaking, there is no cure for glaucoma, right? There are simply ways of managing glaucoma. I have to use eye drops, right, every day, right? I have to go to a doctor once a year. Outside of that, there's no cure, and that's a very important intellectual point to make. Is that the notion that blindness can be cured is a false one. It cannot be cured. There's no cure. There's management. Yeah, you're very right. Okay, so this next question, I'm asking it because it will help us to lead to the next topic, which means that what can you tell us about your great nation of Pakistan? What are some key points that you want the world to know and understand about Pakistan?
Well, I would say the world looks Pakistan as a developing state, so it is very dangerous, and people often misinterpret Pakistan as dangerous state. I would say it is not dangerous state. In fact, I have found Pakistan very cooperative, and especially if we talk about with the context of visual impairment. So Pakistan offers us a huge number of facilities which I don't think so are available anywhere else. So I love my country, and people often misinterpret it like people are terrorists, and which what is a view of Pakistan? Let me say, people think that there is fire on the roads and people are walking here and there having guns in their hands. It's totally different. People are very nice in here. People are very cooperative. People are very sweet. People are very welcoming here. So I love Pakistan.
It's a
Yeah.
really good. I know that that answer is a true one, but the way you speak, you have a really you have a beautiful way of talking. You have a very like Your demeanor is so pleasant and so like warm. You have a very warm delivery when you speak. You are really good at that. Yeah, you have a knack for public speaking for sure. Absolutely. Cool, cool. Okay. So, and as far as cities go in Pakistan, what city are you living in now?
Well, I'm from Rawalpindi. Rawalpindi and Islamabad, they are the twin cities of Pakistan because they are like connected together. So
Mm-hmm.
Rawalpindi in Pakistan, they are the twin cities of Pakistan. Islamabad is the capital, while I live in Rawalpindi. So
Can you
yeah,
can you
it
can
is.
you say okay, thank you. Can you say the
Mm-hmm.
name of
What
the
do you want to
city?
say?
Can you say the name of the
Um,
city again, but a little more slowly so I can get the syllables up? What is it called?
it is called Rawalpindi.
Raval
Rawalpindi.
Rawalpindi.
Rawalpindi. It's a P. It's a P.
Ra Raval
Rawalpindi.
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 Rawalpindi. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah,
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 okay.
yeah.
No, that place I haven't heard of. I've heard of all the other cities. That particular city I haven't heard of. That's very interesting. Okay. So that is fine. That is fine. What can you tell us about that city, by the way?
Um, Islamabad is the capital city. It is developed, but Rawalpindi is not the capital. It is not as much developed as Islamabad, but it is also a nice city. It has value because the Islamabad is connected to it, so people can easily access the capital city from Rawalpindi, and it is home to various universities, and it is also home to a proper university, a proper women university in Pakistan, which is Fatma Jannah Women University. It is formally the first women university that was established in Pakistan, um, and it is also famous for its traffic.
As in traffic problems, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well that's good. I think every city is famous for traffic problems. Okay, good. That is good. So one thing that I don't know a whole lot about, and I admit that I don't know this information. So what can you tell us about the education system of Pakistan? And then what can you tell us about your education that you were able to receive growing up as a child and then the education that you're receiving now? So kind of break down the education in your country.
Mm. It depends on the educational institution in which you are studying. If you are studying in a well-known, recognized educational institution, then believe me, you will have the education that you have in America. Like we will study all the relevant things, we will have all the knowledge. But if you are studying in a totally unknown school or totally unknown place, uh, it is a harsh truth that you will not get that much knowledge. So it depends because um, I have seen a lot of things when I turned blind. So I switched to an educational institute where I had to continue my education as a blind student. So at that place, I felt like there were problems in the education. So then I talked to my family and I said, I can't study here. They're not teaching us. Then my family, they brought me back to the general education, and there the education was very good. We had a lot to learn there, and we studied properly there. The education system depends on the institution. So after that, after my matriculation, or you can say after my 10th standard, I switched to college. In the college, because it was a public college, a government recognized college, so there also the staff was very cooperative, and um, people often cooperate a lot, and there are a lot of benefits that we get because of education. For example, I would say the benefits that we get as a visually impaired student is that we don't have to pay for our education. We don't have to pay a single penny for our education. Even we don't have to pay about for the transportation. Uh, then we don't have to pay about for our accommodation. Like our education up to PhD is fully funded, and we don't have to pay a single penny if we are visually impaired. Other than that, the staff and the people, they are so cooperative, they are so open, they are so warm that we feel that we are at home. So, yeah. And right now I am pursuing my bachelor's in Fatma Jinnah Women University. So here I have also read a lot. I have studied a lot, and education system is really good, and teachers are really warm, and they are like equipping us with technological skills. They are open to accessible things like screen readers and stuff like that. And they appreciate when we perform well in the class. Even they tell the class that he is performing better than you. So it is a really good feeling. And we don't
Mm-hmm.
feel we are in, uh, like we are marginalized. We feel
Excellent.
that we are a proper part of the education system,
I'm glad
and
to
we are
hear it.
playing a key role in it.
I'm
Hmm?
I'm I'm pleased to hear that, Alishba. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Alishba. You know, we have a lot of listeners and a lot of guests from all over the world at Aaron's Opinion, and we've discovered that the quality of education that people get from country to country really does vary tremendously. So yeah, in some cases, I've heard a lot of stories about people either being welcomed or not welcomed. So it's just good to know that in Pakistan they're taking steps in the right direction. So that's very, very good. Yeah, yeah. And then when you were growing up though, did you start going to school like primary school when you were 5 or 6 years old? Like how does that work for children in Pakistan?
Well, when we go to primary school, when we are at 5 to 6 years old,
Right.
um, first don't start like with proper ABC. First, they start to teach us about the basic things like the color names, then the name of different things, what we should pronounce. Then, in the assembly, or we call it assembly, we learn about different Quranic verses and different religious knowledge is taught. So when we are able to identify different things, when we are able to identify among the main concepts, then they start with A, B, C. Then they start with like formally learning the language. They don't like bombard us with information. First, they teach us basic things which are necessary if we are going out, because before the primary school, we are in the home. So first, they teach us basic skills that are required for going out and embracing a new environment. Then they start with language skills. So that was very interesting for me. Uh, so yeah. And even I still remember learning those color names and those flower names and touching all those flowers. And yeah, it was very
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting that they teach those things. Yeah. Yeah, I guess America is similar. Children learn about those things in history, and then as you get older, you learn more academic things like history, math, English. Um, Typically in America, although it does depend heavily on the school, typically you wouldn't cover theology or sociology or religious things until university age, typically. But it does depend
No,
upon the
here
school.
we cover
Yes,
religious things
I
in
know.
the school,
Yes,
but
yes, I know.
here we
Hmm.
cover religious things in school, but we don't cover sociology, especially sociology in uh, high school. We cover a little bit history as well in the
Hmm.
in the school. We
Sure.
study Pakistan history or the Indian history because Pakistan and India, they were first one nation. So we study Indian history and Pakistan history in school, but we don't
Hmm.
cover it in university. But we don't like cover sociology and other complex subjects here.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. 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 So if somebody wanted to study sociology, they would have to go to university for that and get a sociology degree. Right. Exactly. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay. Good. Good. Um, and what are some of your favorite like memories like growing up? What are some really interesting things that happened to you when you were growing up as a child, do you think?
Well, it's an interesting question. I have to think about it. What are some of the interesting memories?
Exactly.
Well, my principal in my high school, I was the favorite child of my principal, and whenever she visited the school, she would call me and like she would sit with me and she would enjoy different things with me. So I really miss my principal. And uh, once I remember, she was walking in the street and I was walking out from the school and she just ran towards me and she just hugged me and it was the most beautiful memory. Then growing up, uh, I went to perform Umrah. So it was the most memorable part. It is the most memorable part of my life that when I went there to Makkah, then to Medina, then again to Makkah. So it was really memorable experience. Um, then uh, when I performed Nat is basically praising Prophet Muhammad. So whenever I performed a Nat in the school or in a competition, my principal would like shower me with gifts and stuff. So I was like, wow. So that was most interesting. And when I won a certificate. Um, it was of Hamdard. I went to deliver a speech. So I won the certificate and my principal was sitting in the first audience. It was like an organization which is recognized all over Pakistan. So I won a certificate, a clock, and some books. So my principal she was like, she lifted me up and she said, Alishba, my child, I'm so proud of you. So these are some of the beautiful memories of my childhood. These are the beautiful memories of my childhood. In the universities, there are other type of memories and they are also very beautiful.
I think that really says a lot about that headmistress or principal. Yes, for sure, for sure. That's very sweet and very touching that these people are so, because in America people are a lot colder and are not really interactive in the same way. So that's very very interesting that you had all this interaction. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah. That is deeply, deeply fascinating. Yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
so then you get all the way to this university and then you decide to study behavioral science. So what really pulled you into behavioral science? And exactly why did you want to study that field and what are your plans for what you want to do with that knowledge after you graduate?
Well, what really pulled me in behavioral sciences is that I am interested in learning about human behavior. And I have seen many people behaving awkwardly and some of the other people they face various issues because of the odd behavior. So I want to study behavioral sciences so that I can understand the issues of the people who are behaving awkwardly or who are not behaving in a normal way. And I want to address the issues and I want to solve those issues and I want to make them an effective member of the society, whether the person is blind or sighted. Because some people they exhibit really odd behavior, so I want to address these issues. And um, my greatest interest is with children. I want to know why children don't behave normally. And now you are reminding me of my internship period when I went to for the internship, as it is a requirement of degree that you have to do the internship. So when I went for the internship, my my supervisor said that there are some children here who don't speak, and you have to make them speak. Do whatever you want. Don't harm them. You have to apply your knowledge and you have to make them speak. And then I went and I gave them behavioral therapy. It is a therapy in which you give them positive reinforcement and you have to um, you have to make the child do what you want to do. So I gave them some of the chart papers, uh, which were like cut in different forms. Like there were circles, there were ovals, and they were like customized. They were like names written on the papers. And I said, "Who is this?" And then the children, they started speaking. I awarded them with like different chocolates and stuff, and they started speaking. So I changed their behavior. And when my internship was about to end, my supervisor called me and said, "What have you done?" I said, "What? Do you have a magic wand?" I said, "No." They said, "They're speaking so nicely and their manners. I am impressed." And I said, "Ma'am, I even," and when they started speaking, it was such a nice feeling. I said that because of me, they got cured. And now they are like behaving normally. And it was such a beautiful feeling. So, by the way, what I'm talking about, but basically I want to address odd behaviors and I want to modify behaviors and I want to relax people that if you will behave right, then you will feel relaxed and then you will feel positive. So that's what I
You're
want to
very
do.
wise.
I
You
want
are
to make a
very
positive
wise.
behavior.
You are very wise. I think it's true. I think when you treat people properly, I think they respond properly. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. You, Alishba, are also a very warm and endearing person. You have a very approachable character. So I can understand where children would respond well to you, you know? I have to tell you, I was actually very impressed that I think if I'm going back on my memory, which could be wrong or it could be right, I forget which way it is, but I have so many things in my memory, I can't tell which way my memory goes. But I think it was you who actually reached out to me originally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did I have any, and just to replay my own memory so I can even start to remember this, did I even know who you were when you reached out to me or was I clueless? Did I even know who Alishba was when you reached out?
When I sent you a friend request, you sent me a message. You said, "Hey, do you know me? Or do you know any of my things
Okay.
that I do on YouTube?" Then I said, "Yes, I know you. You once interviewed Michael, then you interviewed Sarah, and that's how I know you, and you have a YouTube channel, and I
Yeah,
know you."
now I'm remembering the conversation now. Yeah, you're right. We did say it that way. So yeah, you came to me. I had no true idea that this program was helping you so much in your life, and I cannot thank you enough for that. I think that is so sweet and so encouraging. But then the even funnier part is then when we connected on WhatsApp, I had seen your WhatsApp handle before, so you're actually very fluent in WhatsApp, and you're all over the WhatsApp communities, all over the blindness space. So then, then when I saw your WhatsApp, I was like, oh yeah, I have seen that handle before on WhatsApp many times. Yeah, you're very active in in that space. But I think there's a lot to be said for, studying human behavior. I mean, that's a whole, that all in itself is always fun to talk about either way because I'm from a pretty strange country. It's called America, and the people there behave really strangely. So I think you would be employed full time in America trying to figure out why American people are so weird. Because American people, and I've not been to Pakistan, but I've traveled extensively all over Europe, and I've been to France because you know that I'm bilingual English French. I'm a French speaker too. And so I've spent a lot of time in France and when I come back to America, the people are so weird in America and so cold and so unfriendly. It's just ridiculous. And people have gotten a lot weirder since the pandemic. I've noticed that our society has really shifted and changed, since that time period. Yeah. Yeah. So when you really think about human behavior, what are some key points that you would want the world to know about the way we as people behave? And for that matter, what have you noticed about the Pakistani psyche and the Pakistani people and how do they behave? It's pretty similar, but what are some key points that you can draw from that?
Well, um, it depends on culture as well. Like in some cultures, people, they don't feel strange. They feel like they remain serious. So uh, there's a difference between remaining serious and being strange. So mm, it depends on the nature of the person, that whether the person is serious or whether the person is strange. But what I would say, that what is the reason of odd behavior or like strange behavior can be One reason can be a stressor, like people are suffering from a stressor. One reason can be anxiety. When people face anxiety, they behave very awkwardly. Um, and when the people are relaxed, they are warm, they're communicative, they are open, and they're nice. So we have to keep in mind. And remember, whenever you feel that someone is behaving strange or behaving like not in a good way, so you just have to tell them, I can understand what you're facing. And if you say this to a person, it totally changes their behavior towards you, because he can think that, oh, what I'm going through, he or she can understand that. So, he will start thinking you as their friend, or as a person, as a simple person who said a word of hope. So your impression changes, and that's how you can tap in to their behavior and you can start changing it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
You've
By
really
the way,
taken, yeah.
By the way, I have a compliment for you as well. You're saying that the people from America, they're strange, but I haven't found anyone like that much strange. Even you're very warm, you're very nice.
Well,
You're
thank
very
you.
confident actually.
Thank
You
you.
have
Well,
a nice
because,
style of
well,
speaking.
because I'm a podcaster and teacher, educator, public speaker. So the way that I act is not the way that most other American people act. So I would be pretty weird actually, because most of the American people don't act like me. So, I'm kind of the odd man out, as we say. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah,
By the
definitely.
way, this style of yours is nice. It suits you.
Thank you. Which side of me suits me?
This style of you suits you. I said this style of you suits you.
This broadcaster, this podcast personality side suits me.
Yeah, this
Well,
style suits you.
okay. That's adorable. That's so sweet. That's so cute and so endearing and so silly and thank you so much. Um, yeah, I think that you being a guest on shows suits you. I think this suits you, Alishba. How many other podcasts have you been on? Because I think it suits you.
Thank you so much.
Have you
Thank
ever?
you. No,
You are such a character. Have you been on other Pakistani podcasts before?
no, not on podcasts, but on like radio shows. I have been doing radio shows for like 2 years, so I know like how it feels like being on
Uh-huh.
live and what it feels like when everyone is
Absolutely.
listening to you. So I love speaking. I love talking, and I can't stop talking.
Well,
So
that's good.
yeah.
I noticed that Pakistani people are very humorous like this, very endearing and very fun to be around. I've always noticed that. I actually had, and I didn't think of this before, but now it came back to me. When I was in my university days, one of my roommates was a Pakistani guy, and he always had my sense of humor too, because I'm a traditional conservative guy. So it was fun because the Pakistani guy would always agree with me about stuff. And, so I never knew whatever became of that guy, but I still secretly know who it is. And I suspect that he is aware of what I'm doing, actually, even though he doesn't say anything. I think he secretly does listen. He's not blind or anything, but I'm sure that he secretly listens and secretly is absorbing the content. But yeah, so that's another thing too.
Mhm.
Yeah, you said that after talking about the behavioral sciences, you said that you also have a large interest in like communication, journalism, broadcasting. So is it that you want to have an influence in that sphere, or is it you're also taking classes in that? That wasn't entirely clear. Talk a little bit more about your interest there in the broadcast radio stuff.
So, um, Basically, I wanted to be a media influencer, but the electronic media and approaching all that is quite challenging here. Because if you want to approach the electronic media first, they want a proper portfolio, and then the electronic media, it doesn't have like a good image in the local Pakistani families. So I started with radio. I said that, okay, because on the radio, no one is watching you. So, just have to speak.
Right.
So it was convenient for me as well because the radio station that was in Karachi and I am from Rawalpindi. So, um, I had to do online shows. I was like live and I was sitting in my room and I was like speaking and people would just tune into the radio and they could listen me. So it was convenient for me as well because I could manage it with my studies. And I was like feeling that, okay, I'm doing something. I'm not like only pursuing my education. I'm also working somewhere. So I'm not
It's
sitting idle.
wonderful.
And it was also helping me earn something. So yeah, that's what most interested me. And it was also developing my communication skills and talking about training. So yes, first I
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
training. First I got a training in the radio. Then the radio personnel, they said that you have to complete a course and then you can more embellish it if you will start doing shows with the course. So I started doing shows. First, there were combined shows, like me and a senior RJ with me would like do a proper show. But then as the time passed, I switched to solo shows and yeah, because
Cool.
of like pressure of studies, I quitted radio in this February. But a few days back, my boss called me and he said that we want you back in your RJ mode. I said, not now. I'm studying right now, but next month because I will uh, because I will give my finals of seventh semester and then there will only thesis. Then the thesis portion will be left of the study. So then I can definitely join, but not now. They said, okay, next month we want you back in your RJ mode.
Cool, cool, super good, super, super good. And so, yeah, I mean, we're very familiar with in the United States, we're very familiar with the concept of internet radio, which is certainly making a big comeback these days in the industry. So it sounds like you were doing some internet radio stuff, right? You were probably using a software similar to Station Playlist and hopping onto a server like that, right?
Yeah, it was exactly that.
Well, there you go. Well, cool. So, with podcasting, everybody has their own niche, their own interest. But as far as radio goes, every station has their own speciality. So, what can you tell us about this Pakistani station and what was their programming? Like, what was the history of it? Like, why, how does that work? Like, what was that station in Pakistan that you were, playing a great role in? Yeah.
It was like we had a contract of 3 months, and during that contract, we can choose our niche. We can choose whatever we want to talk about, but it should not be political because of the political unrest and of the varying political opinions. We can talk about anything. We can talk about information. We can talk about entertainment. We can talk about like different other things. We can even talk about news, but we don't have to. We were restricted to talk about political things. Other than that, we can choose the niche, and we have to continue that niche in the 3 months of the contract. And then after 3 months, we can again choose our niche, but it shouldn't be political. So it was up to us what we should choose. Well, talking about my preference, so again, I chose psychology, and I focused on different informative topics like what shapes behavior and why. So this was my main niche that I was talking about
That's really cool.
throughout my
Really, really
phase.
cool. Sure, sure. And was the station like for blind people or was it just a station for everybody?
It was also recruiting blind people, but if a sighted applied, they will also recruit them. But they were preferring blind people,
Okay,
honestly speaking.
cool.
They
Cool, cool,
preferred
cool.
blind people
Well,
because
we
they said that,
will.
yeah, because they said that this is a station in which you only have to speak, and this is accessible for blind. So the sighted people, they can find jobs easily, but we will hire VIs, blind people, because they have excellent communication skills. These were the words of my boss.
Yeah, really good. Well, we have a lot of connections in the radio field here at Aaron's Opinion with internet radio. So there's a lot of people in the radio space that we'll get you very quickly put in touch with. And that's really good. You'll definitely do some more radio stuff, now that you're here. So that's amazing. That's really, really, really fun. Yeah, yeah. So there can be a lot of fun stuff can happen on the radio. What was your like favorite experience that you had running your radio show? Or maybe someone said something really funny, or the most interesting moment that you had on the radio? Absolutely.
Sorry?
No worries. What was your
Sorry?
most exciting? It's okay. What was your most exciting moment you had while you were doing this radio stuff?
Well, the most exciting moment. The most exciting moment for me was when we hosted the New Year show. Um,
Mm.
the New Year show, it was like all the RJs on the radio, they were combined and they had to host a New Year show. And um, all of us, we were online and then we hosted a radio show and it was so much funny. We were planning games, we were playing different games, we were playing tongue twisters, and people were not unable to um speak and we were like joking around and we were excited. So it was the most uh funny and the most memorable experience, because from there we had a lot of good friends, and still we are now friends. Like, we are from different cities and we are good friends. Even when we like visit each other's cities, we go there and we stay there. So uh whenever we meet, we remember, or we talk about the New Year's show that we
Oh,
met in the New Year's show online.
that's that's so sweet. That's so cool. So cool. And was this station, this Pakistani station, was it heard like overseas by the Pakistani diaspora?
Uh, you can hear it overseas. Even I think there were a lot of listeners from Australia as well. So you
Mm-hmm.
can hear it. You can just tune in to the website and you can hear whatever is being played on the radio. But you have to hear for the Pakistani time. And then it can be listened everywhere.
Very
It can be
nice.
approached everywhere.
That's super good. That is super, super good. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So then you did that. So then after you, so how many more years of university do you have, Alishpa?
Only 6 months are left.
Okay. And then what are you
Yeah.
going to do after you graduate from the university within 6 months? Like, what are your plans after that?
Well, I'm applying for some foreign scholarships. I would be, I will, my first preference will be to get foreign experience and to um, visit abroad studying a master's degree program in psychology, especially in
Hmm.
behavior. Yeah. If not that, like, if it didn't work, because you don't have to rely on one thing. If it didn't work, I will start a job here in Pakistan, preferably in a hospital or in a clinic where I have to give behavioral therapy. And I will start my side business of handmade products because I want to make a brand.
Okay. Okay. So by handmade products, yeah, you did mention that earlier. So what does that mean? Like, what handmade products do you make? Yeah.
I make handmade bags, handmade pearl bags. Actually, I am a handmade jewelry, and like, I'm a handmade pearl artist. I do pearl art, so I make necklaces, I make bracelets, I make handmade pearl bags and earrings, etc. So like, yeah, this type of stuff I make them and I supply them worldwide. I have my
Okay.
Instagram page and whatever I make, I uh just post it on Instagram and then people can order it and they can I provide them with supply.
That can be useful. That can be useful, and it can also be risky because with Instagram you have to deal with the public, and there's always the weird comments or the weirdos on Instagram too. But Instagram can be very powerful for delivering product for sure, for sure. Are you following me on Instagram?
No, I'm following you on Facebook, but not on Instagram. I didn't knew you are using Instagram.
Well, of course, we have an Instagram here at Aaron's Opinion. Yeah, absolutely. You should definitely follow me there so that when the episode comes out, we'll tag you so that your followers on Instagram will know that you were on this podcast. That's why that's powerful. Instagram is powerful for the tagging. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I'll surely follow you on Instagram.
Absolutely. Well, that's really cool. Yeah. When if you make like handmade jewelry, where do you like buy the jewelry from? What is the jewelry that you actually use?
Um, I make handmade pearl jewelry, so I buy pearls. Um, then I buy the string. I buy pearls, I buy the string. Then I buy the hooks, and then I assemble together, and it is like I craft all that together, and I make it in a bag or a necklace or a bracelet. That's how I
Hmm.
work.
Interesting. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. Do you like I don't know. I knew someone else a long time ago who was into gem art, where you take the little gems and you like connect them on a board and you make a beautiful picture too. That's also very popular right now in the United States. Gem art. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I have heard about gem art actually, but I didn't did it by
Yeah.
myself. I have heard
It
about it, and I have heard about it that it's famous in Canada and USA, but I
it
haven't
is.
tried it yet.
It is. Yeah. Gem art for a blind person, gem art might be more visual, and I think the art that you're able to do is more tactile, right? You're able to easily feel the pearls and feel the tools that you use to make the art, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool. That is super, super cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's really excellent. Um, okay, well that's really fascinating. So yeah, so I mean in Pakistan though, back to the job and you working in behavioral sciences, so you could work in a hospital. Could you open like a coaching business? I mean, what are all of your ideas for what you want to do? Because you'll probably end up doing several different things. So what else do you think you'll do like for a full-time work? Yeah.
Well, uh, I will continue my job because I want to serve the community.
Hmm.
Okay. As my job of behavioral sciences, I'm serving the community by giving them behavioral therapy and by modifying their behaviors or
Hmm.
modifying their odd behaviors or addressing their mental problems. So I will continue my job, but I will focus on my business as well. So to get financial stability. So um, I will continue the job, but it would be like part time, and I will like I will take it like as I'm doing the social work, but
Sure.
I will focus more on my business.
Absolutely. That's cool. So if someone needs like behavioral therapy, like what would behavioral therapy actually look like in practice? Like, what is that?
Mm, a moment. Oh, sorry. I switched to Urdu. Sorry. like, well, if we talk about behavioral therapy, so it looks like we give positive and negative reinforcement. Like we um, say that you have to do that, and if you will do that, you will get this in return. So, in order to gain that reward can be anything. It can be like a thing, a physical thing, an incentive, um, an opportunity, all, everything. So, if we make people feel that you will do this and then you will get this. So people change their behavior in order to gain something. Other than that, it is very complex because it is also used to treat phobia. So we also give exposure therapy. We gradually expose people to the things they fear from, and we
Ugh.
modify their behavior of getting feared. First, for example, a person has a phobia of dogs. He is um, fearing from dogs. So we um, we call it systematic desensitization. Uh, we gradually first we ask the person to think about a dog. Then, when he develops resilience to think about it, then we gradually expose him to the picture of dog. Then we expose him to a stuffed dog. Then we make him to go to like see a real dog. So that's how we modify different odd behaviors and replace them with normal behaviors. So that's what we do basically.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you for modeling it. Excuse me. That is very, very understandable. Let me paint a very clear example, though, of one of the most profound ones that I find in American society, and I'm sure it's the same in Pakistani society. I think people are really
Mm-hmm.
afraid of interacting with other people. I think the pandemic has contributed to people feeling social isolation. So if somebody comes to you and they say, Alishba, I know that I have to be more social. I know I have to get out more. I know I have to interact with my friends, but I'm just too scared. How do you modify that fear? How do you modify that behavior and expose them to people in a way that doesn't make them afraid of people more?
Well, uh, we can say, you have come to me, so why? First, you have to ask why the person is here. Why are you trusting me? Then he will say, we are trusting you because we believe you will help me. Then I say, if you believe you will, I am unable to help you, but still you are interacting with me, right? So if you can interact with me, you can interact with your friends as well. Then we will gradually, I will say, okay, so you can see other people are interacting too. Not everyone is having a pandemic and no one is getting ill. You can see other people, you can see different groups of friends. They are sitting together, they're enjoying different things and they are happy. So they are not getting any type of pandemic. So you have to keep in mind that it is not necessary that whoever you interact with has the pandemic or has the virus. So first we make the person comfortable. Then definitely I will ask the person who come to me to, okay, let's shake hands. You are trusting me, so let's shake hands. Then I will like shake hand. And if the person is very, very scared, we can just end up like sanitizing the hands and then we can shake hands. Then gradually I will let the person go to their friends. Then we will make him shake hand with their friends. Then they will gradually start sitting with them. And that's how the fear, it keeps on like getting away. So
Really
that's
good.
how we will treat them.
That's really good. It's a great answer. And I think that's a major thing right now in the United States is that people are afraid of people. I think that's a huge issue. Wow, that's really, really good. Okay. And by the way, you sound very worldly. So where have you traveled to outside of Pakistan?
Well, I have traveled in Pakistan, but if I talk about traveling out, so I have traveled to Saudi Arabia to perform Umrah. Umrah, um, we can also understand it like Hajj. It is the religious performance. Uh, we have to go to Kaaba and we have to um, perform Hajj. So I have traveled to Saudi Arabia to perform Umrah. That's where I traveled.
Very good. What are some things you really want to know about me and the United States? Because I'm sure you have questions.
Mm, I haven't known a lot about United States in this podcast. Like, I didn't know that people behave strangely. You told me. And I even didn't know that people are afraid of people. So
We do
that's
and we
what was
are.
new to me.
Well,
That's
good.
what was new for me. I didn't know that people are afraid of people. So that's strange and that's very, I would say, that's very, no, I can't find the word, but that was like interesting and a little bit disturbing as well, that why people are afraid of people, because people can help different people. So if they will start fearing one another, what will happen? So yeah, and no, I don't have like any other questions I'm thinking about, but I don't have any other questions because I keep on um I keep on getting updates about United States and what's been going there, so I don't have any questions. I think I know a lot about United
That's
States
excellent.
at the
That's
present.
really good. That's really, really good. We have someone in the audience who is sitting here, and I think I know who it is. I think this is one of the other radio people. So what I would like to do, and I'm sure you'd be open to this, is I would like to open their microphone and let them ask you some questions because I'm sure they have questions for you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's give it a try. I think I know who it is, or we'll find out.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, iPhone, go ahead. I'm sure you have a lot of questions for Alishba. It takes it a second to unlock. Go ahead. Okay, maybe is your microphone not plugged in? I think I know who it is. Is the microphone not plugged in? Because if it's not, you can type the question. Okay, we're gonna just give that. We're gonna give that another moment here. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna just. Huh. Very, very interesting. Well, okay. It seems as if he is not, maybe he doesn't want to type. All right. Let's give him another 5 minutes because if he wants to type his question, I'm sure he will. Okay. So anyway, that was a wonderful, wonderful discussion today. So Alishpa, if someone, wants to get in touch with you, what are the ways, how can people reach out to Alishpa?
You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can reach out to me on Instagram, and you can also email me. Uh, so my Facebook is Alishba Ejaz. My Instagram is Alishba Ejaz 2003, and my other Instagram is Alishba's Pearl Art. You can reach out to me on that, and you can also email me on alishbaejaz2003@gmail.com. Those are only the three ways that you can reach out to me. People often interpret and reach out on various Alishbas. They bump in different Alishbas who are not me, but now I'm telling my original Facebook and Instagram ID and my email address, so you can email me and you can reach out to me by these means. So
Actually, I think it
yeah.
would be good, and I'm sure you can if you didn't do so already, and I forget if you did, but if you didn't, if you can write a description for the episode talking about who you are as a person, and then at the bottom, if you can put all of your correct links, that will help to solve that problem, because you're right. There are too many people with handles that are similar. That's why it's important to know who you're talking to and get the handles right. So yes, that would be, that is
Yeah,
very,
sure,
very,
I
very
will.
helpful. Absolutely. Okay, iPhone, are you unmuted now? I think you probably might be. It looks like you turn on your camera. It looks like you're unmuted. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, yeah, Aaron.
Yes, go ahead. Please tell us who you are. Go ahead.
Uh, this is Mishek Bison, all the way from Malawi.
So, okay, let me give some context. So, Alishba, this is another guest here from Aaron's Opinion. His name is Mishek, and he's from Malawi. Okay, Mishek, go ahead. What is your question for Alishba?
All right, okay. Thanks. Congratulations, Alishba, for telling us more about Pakistan. I've really learned a lot. I didn't even know about, behavior therapy and stuff because I've got a young baby. She's 2 years old. And then, yeah, as a young baby, communication is a little bit problematic. Yeah, we find problems like to teach, do this, don't do that. We struggle with that. And so until the other day, one 10-year-old girl spoke to me, was like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, Annabelle's dad, how do you communicate with Annabelle? Because I'm trying to stop her, I'm trying to call her, she doesn't respond. So what would you advise me about this? Is your behavior therapy something to do with this? Or how do you get along with babies when they're growing up, like in, in the location whereby it's very difficult to control behaviors?
Well, can you please rephrase the question? Your baby.
Let me ask it this way. Okay, sure. Let me help you. So
Yeah,
Mishek,
yeah.
are you asking for advice, or are you asking Alishpa what Alishpa would say regarding to how we should like raise children and approach a child's behavior as they grow up? Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yes, like if she would be in my position having that 2-year-old girl, how would she behave her, like, bringing her up in the
Got
location,
it.
like,
Okay, so right. So
Okay, okay,
Alishpa, he's
okay.
asking. No, and by the way, I understood both of you. It's just to help to solidify and to clarify for the listener at home. So I think a good way
yeah,
to say it is right. No worries, Mishak. I think the
yeah,
question
yeah.
here is so Alishpa, if you have a child, how will you approach growing up with them, and how will you address and approach their behavioral development? And I think that's a really good question. Absolutely, go right ahead.
So first, how I would approach him or her, don't expose your child to screens. If he is 1, 2, or 3 years old, never expose them to screens. Teach the
Okay,
child yourself.
okay,
Teach the child yourself, but don't be harsh. Don't be
yeah,
harsh. Don't be like violent with him. Even when he is sleeping, don't be violent around because it will um, make him learn violence. Try to stay
okay,
calm with him or with her and teach him politely. This is wrong. You have to do this. This is right. And when you will
okay,
say this, and don't hide anything from your child, like, because I'm saying this, you have to do this. Give him proper reason that why he should behave like this. What will
yeah, yeah,
add and why he should not behave like this. What are the dangers in behaving like this? So when you
yeah.
will have an open communication with your child, then he or she will become an effective member of the society, and he will not learn other irrelevant things from his or her surrounding. He will learn from his or her parents. So that's what I would say. And never expose him or her to screens because it is very dangerous.
No, I got you.
Like
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
often people play something on mobiles, like different poems and different things, and they just give to the child, and they say that he's not like annoying us, he's busy with the phone, so thank God he's now busy. But it actually sabotages the mental health of your child. So never ever expose your child to screens.
So that's not gonna make me a bad dad when I restrict them from TVs, eh? Okay, but I got
Yeah,
you.
it was good. It was good.
All
It is
right,
good.
okay.
You can allow them TV, but then you have to see what they are watching on TV.
Yeah, like control them, yeah.
Yeah, and don't allow TV for unlimited time. You have to allow them TV for half an hour or for an hour, and okay, after half an hour, it's enough. Now you have to
Okay,
interact
okay.
with family because you can
Yeah.
see people, and especially children, they are becoming distant from the families, and they like try to remain and they try to mingle with other social people, and that's where they get different bad companies. So I would say this.
Uh, all right, okay. Just once more to you, Aaron. It suits you, like Alishba said. Has told you, you're a wonderful podcaster.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
And
guys.
you're a wonderful participant, and we're glad to have you. And that was a great dynamic there. I love that interaction. So that was so good. That was so beautiful, Mishak. Thank you for joining us. All right
So
It's been
then.
a
happy to see
Well,
you
pleasure.
here, Michelle.
yeah, yeah.
I'm so happy to see you here.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
You probably recognize him from the various WhatsApp communities. Mishak is a great friend to all of us around the world, and he's in many
Yeah, he's
communities.
a good friend of mine. He's a very good friend of mine.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It's
You're
so
so welcome. You both are so welcome. All right, everybody. Well, I think that is I got to tell you, yeah, here we go. Here we go, right here. I think that is a beautiful, beautiful way to walk to the end of another beautiful conversation here at Aaron's Opinion. Remember, thank you to Alishpa for taking time out of your day over there in Pakistan to join us this evening over there in Pakistan. Thank you to Mishak for joining us from Malawi. We couldn't do it without either one of you. And thank you to both of you for being so warm and kind and such receptive participants and listeners here at Aaron's Opinion. We cannot thank you enough, and thank you so much. And of course, Alishba, I want you to know something, that no matter what job you choose, no matter what you do in Pakistan, you're an amazing person, you're very funny, you're very sweet and endearing and just fun to be around. And whatever you do, I'm sure it will suit you. You've been listening to Aaron's Opinion. Thank you so much. That's gonna be the ongoing comedy. Well, I think that's suitable. That's suitable. We'll let her do it. Suitable.
It suits you.
I love that. All right, everybody. Well, as a matter of interest, we'll actually be back on the air. Hopefully, in a little over an hour, God willing, we'll be back on the air with another guest. Actually, we have a bit of a double header today. So from here, we're going to say thank you so much. We're going to say stay tuned for further updates. And certainly later today, I will absolutely, I'll send you over to the groups and things like that so you can keep talking Alishba. But thank you so much. And until then, I wish you a wonderful, safe, happy, and healthy evening over in Pakistan. And if we don't talk between now and the new year, I wish you a beautiful, safe, and happy start to 2025. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll be back soon. Take care, everybody. And of course, help one person today, help 1 million people tomorrow.